Greetings, theists and non-theists. I am the Atheist Paladin. What I want to discuss today is having your gay cake and eating it too. Or at least that's what people are thinking. And now this is a result of Indiana's anti-religious discrimination laws. Part of context of this is a pizza place saying they refuse service for a gay wedding. Now, this actually wasn't as a response to anything. They didn't come out and like to announce this. It's just that it was just archived footage from before there was this law being even considered. And they were just simply asked by a reporter out of the blue. So it's not like they were being vocal about their opinion, about their political beliefs, at least on this particular subject. But now they're fucking rich because they said this, and it got pulled out of the archive and played when this law came up. And now it's also revealed that there is also a bakery somewhere that also denied someone for having verses on a cake that was essentially shaming homosexuality. And now they're going, see, we're being discriminated too. We just wanted a traditional marriage cake. And I just find that very odd. Queer, if you would say. Pun intended. But you've always had a traditional marriage cake. You just put a man and a woman on top. And ta-da! Traditional marriage cake. That's all what you've been saying, right? Marriage is one man and one woman. And you put that on the cake. You have a traditional wedding marriage cake. Let's just try to examine the thought process. Now, why shouldn't you be able to say they can't have a gay cake, a gay marriage cake? Well, because you're denying someone on the basis of their sexuality. If we all agree that discriminating against people against the basis of their sexuality is wrong, then you can't deny them a gay wedding cake. But how can someone turn around and then say, put these verses on a cake, and they can deny them? Well, there's a difference between getting a service because you sell wedding cakes, so you sell them a wedding cake because you do not deny people on the basis of their sexuality, but that doesn't mean you have to also support somebody else's speech. And that's what essentially this particular cake is. It's supporting somebody's speech. In order to understand the scenario, let's take it a different direction. You're a cake maker in Louisiana, and as it happens in the South, there are still plenty of states that don't think there should be interracial couples. Now, on the basis of race, or even race mixing, you shouldn't be able to discriminate against people because that's who they choose to be with. That would just be wrong. Even though if you don't like the racist mixing, it shouldn't matter whether you sell them a cake or not. That's your business model. You sell wedding cakes. But if someone was to come along and say, I want a pro-white cake, but instead of just having two white people getting married on top of the cake, as it would happen in almost every other situation, as the majority of the time, they have to have a cake where a lynching is taking place. Or it just simply says, no mixing of the races, or white genocide, or keep the races pure, whatever. I think those kinds of cakes would be rightfully denied. You're now in that situation. You're making a cake that's be supporting of somebody's speech, and as a business, you can't be if that's not what you support, you cannot be tied to that, because what if somebody finds out that you're the cake maker of that particular cake? Well, they're going to use their rights as in to deny you business. Now you're going to get boycotted. Now, if you're going to boycott someone over because they were willing to serve another person, because that's their business model, they just sell wedding cakes and that's what you do, then that's a little bit stupid. It'd be like saying someone should have the right. If you're a racist right owner of a gas station, you should not be able to be forced. You should not be able to be forced to sell gasoline to black people. I mean, if that's what you really want to argue for, let's just be honest for it. But the tradition of what is called a common service carrier, this is a tradition of law. It even goes back to the Romans. That the government can force you to service all people and not be private. In situations like this is what's essentially is what happened. You're not being a private entity, you're a publicly selling entity. And this is what it means. If you want to say, well, I want to sell to everyone, but then, no, actually I want to pick someone. That's the problem. Now, if you want to have, I don't know, some sort of secret cake club, where you can make a private membership, which you usually have to subscribe to, and you only allow certain people in, then I suppose that's what you can want to do. But when you're a public entity, you just can't simply say, well, I'm going to still pick and choose regardless. It's all based on not only non-discrimination, it's based on also common carrier. And I think this is where the difference is coming in. So I think I said everything I wanted to say on it, and remember, people, rationality is the path to righteousness.